Hello there, I am Grand Moff Tony, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick tour of my current collection setup. Now, as I previously mentioned, the vast majority of my collection is currently in storage, eagerly awaiting the completion of our game room, where it will take pride of place. So, starting out here, this is my quaint little bedside table display. It features a recent Kenobi Obi-Wan fighting an Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. We have the heroes of the original trilogy in their Empire Strikes Back appearance, which has always been my favorite. And then moving towards the back, we have some of the agents of the Empire themselves, including the Amazon exclusive Emperor Palpatine. So my desk in my office is the main hub of my display. It's where I have the most figures out and where I want to see them. And it features some of my larger vehicles, such as the speeder bike or Enfys Nest, including my Force FX Count Dooku lightsaber. Now, the Mandalorian display makes up quite a bit of my collection because the Mandalorian figures make up quite a bit of the Black Series line. Here are some of my favorites up here, like Cobb Vanth and Moff Gideon. Moving along here is a team that I recently completed, sort of. We have the Bad Batch in all of their Bad Batch glory, including evil Imperial Crosshair. Towards the end of the shelf here, we come to the Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters with Dengar IG-88, Boba Fett, Bosk, Forlom, and Zuckuss, framed by the brilliant Wampa, and the Imperial probe droid. A little lower on the shelf, we come to the clone commanders of Bly, Fox, Captain Rex, Wolf, Gree, and Commander Cody. The archive re-release because I'm not a millionaire. And towards the back here is a little hidden gem of my collection, the hyper-real Darth Vader, the superior hyper-real figure, and a fine addition to my collection. Moving to the main level of my desk, we have an X-Wing miniatures Ghost figure. Now, we don't play X-Wing at all. We play Armada, but we didn't really get into X-Wing. But my wife thought I absolutely needed this, so it forms a fantastic backdrop to my Black Series Rebels collection. Rebels is my favorite Star Wars franchise. Full stop. Almost all of them have the photoreal updates, except of course Chopper, because he doesn't have a face. Coming along in no particular order, we have a small collection of figures that aren't part of a team, but were just too cool to go in the box, with Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan, and the previously Galaxy's Edge exclusive made Target exclusive Hondo. Coming over to the middle of my desk is my main display, my Clone Wars display, comprised of figures like the 50th anniversary Lucasfilm Clone Wars figures like Echo and Anakin and Kenobi. This line had some really great figures in it. The Dooku is amazing, Grievous is fantastic, but I personally think my favorite figure in the line is standing right there in the middle, and that's Cad Bane. Up the front is an archive re-release of Empire Strikes Back Yoda, which I have cunningly converted into a prequel Yoda to star at the center of my Clone Wars display. Moving to the back, we have one of the most sought-after figures of recent years, the Clone Wars Ahsoka, followed by Asajj Ventress, to say nothing of Shirtless Maul and Midriff Padme. This end of the desk houses my Snowspeeder, which went from a case of I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it, I need it, to you don't need it, you don't need it, you don't need it, I've bought it for you, as it made up the centerpiece of my Christmas presents from my wife. Moving over to our guest room, there's a bit of a theme display going on here with Black Series, as well as a surprise appearance from the Alien Queen. We've got Book of Boba Fett, and Fennec Shand, the only two figures in the Boba Fett line at the moment, but I'm sure they'll make some more. Over here we have my Jabba's Palace display, which I'm incredibly proud of. Features a Gamorrean guard, one of the best figures in the line, the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett alongside the Empire Strikes Back Carbonite Han. Now, this was a single-release Jabba the Hutt, not the absurdly expensive convention exclusive, so I'll have to work on building the throne myself, but I have incorporated a little vintage 1983 hookah pipe for him to hold. And he fits in quite nicely with my Orange Line Slave Leia, and a custom-made Salacious Crumb that I painted myself. Towards the back, that's the archive re-release of the Skiff Guard Lando. I bet you couldn't tell the difference. Along with Bib Fortuna, C-3PO, Bouche Leia, and of course, the vintage collection Rancor. The Rancor and the figures that came in the Rancor Pit set make up the only vintage collection figures in my collection. So that was the current state of my Black Series setup. Obviously, only a tiny portion of my collection is actually able to be on display right now, so hopefully we can move things along in the basement and the game room will soon be completed. So thank you for checking out my current Black Series setup. If you like this video, please do leave me a comment, let me know which one of my displays was your favourite, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you're new. I've been Grand Moff Tony, this has been my Black Series collection setup. Thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about my Star Wars The Black Series collecting journey, you can check out our previous video here. Alternatively, if you've run out of stuff to watch, I'm sure my future self will not let me down, and will link a brand new video here. Don't fail me, future self. I've been Grand Moff Tony. You may subscribe when ready.